You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Harry.
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of January the 25th to January the 31st, 2025, which means February's neatly lined up for us to cover 4 weeks. They'll all be February weeks.
It'll be lovely.
They will be. I love
1
that
to
one.
7, 14 to 21.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
50
Nice
to
and
21.
even.
50 to 21. Maybe 14 to 21.
Yes!
8 days.
I'm bad at math.
Starting with Detective Conan, episode 1151, The Kaito Kid and the Crown Trick. In which we discover that, yes, it was exactly who I thought it was.
I figured you were right. I just wanted him to dress as an old lady because it seemed off-brand for him, you know? Like,
Yes, but that expert was acting more suspiciously.
Oh, in this episode, way more suspicious. As soon as
And last week as well.
In this one, it replays the end scene of the last one where the detectives kind of go on. I was like, was it you? Kind of thing. But in this episode, he's like, I'm going to look at that crown box for myself just in case Kaito Kid was pulling some sort of trick. And then immediately that guy's like, excuse me, detective, I noticed something. And I said I should interrupt your investigation with my observation. And I was like, it's him. He's specifically interrupting him to fucking reveal the trick that...
Yeah.
And it should have been obvious as well. It's just like, the crown's still there because it has to still be there because if it was picked up, the alarm would go off and the door would close. But so it has to.
And it showed you the old lady's technique, but he covered himself up so you couldn't see what he was doing with the air duster that he was using, because it wasn't air duster. It was black paint. It was matte black paint designed so that he'd spray one half of it on the back and the front of the crown and then turn it around to make it disappear.
Which, like, that works fine from the single angle you can view the crown from on telly, but the people in the room should be able to see, hang on, there's a bit of the crown peeking out. But I guess it's, like, recessed in the wall.
It's because it's in a recess in the wall. Yeah, that's what's throwing them off. But he still manages to escape using roller skates.
I did like, it's like, hey, aren't you taller than you were earlier? And he's like, what? No way. And I was like, okay. So is he wearing lifts? It's like, no, he's wearing, I don't even want to say like rocket power roller skates because they're like diesel engine powered roller skates, but the fact that he has to pull a ripcord on both of his roller skates.
Well, he has to have enough speed to get through that windy corridor.
Yeah. They have to have a timer going. It's like, start the timer as soon as he goes. But yeah.
Conan chases after him and manages to get through as well.
Actually, what the timer starts on is that he has the, much like Joseph Joestar, he has the crown attached by a string that he's going to pull after him as he goes through the corridor. But yeah, Conan has the rocket power skateboard. He's within 3 seconds, I think is what the timer is.
Yes.
It's longer time, but you know.
And he gets to the lift, and then he's got where we started the story, where he's got to figure out which of these Asuzas is the real Asusa.
Because she'd come back from the restaurant with a very differently voiced Amuro to basically go like, I should tell them that observation that I had. I should go back and tell them that thing. And that obviously gives Kaito the perfect opportunity to instantly transform into this girl that he's met maybe like once, I think maybe. They're bound to have met more than once at this stage, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
And once he gets Amuro to declare his love.
Well, Amuro's got a plan. It's like, all right, put it on speaker. And it's like, I love you. And okay, the one that looks fucking wrong is obviously her. So obviously the real one is like, the fuck? Whereas the fake one's like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, that's him. He does not know the interconnected romantic relationships that this is. And she would be disturbed by this declaration.
I think it's a recurring thing that's Kaito Kid's weakness, is that he can't read women very well.
He's not paying attention to the thing in Conan, the ongoing plot, the conspiracies, the actual solving a murder in an individual case-by-case basis. That's not the main story. A lot of the main story is the romantic entanglements, and he does not fucking pay attention to any of that fucking shit. So he's not caught up.
Not his story. But yeah, because the story where Masumi Sara's introduced, he gets caught out by her as well, because he fails to understand he disguises himself as her, but then assumes that she was a man.
Yeah, okay.
And so he gets caught out that way. Yeah, he's terrible at reading the behavior of women, I think is supposed to be the recurring bit. But of course, this is not the jewel he's looking for, and leaves the crown behind.
See, the crown is on public display in a thing where you can look right up to it, and as long as you don't touch it, you won't set the alarms off. So it's like he could have just went and checked it out when it's up for public display, but he has to do this whole rigmarole and smoke bombs and well.
Yes, I was wrong last week. The bald guy with the mustache is not the grandfather. This is her father's uncle.
Does that make her second cousins or something?
Something like that.
Yeah,
removed starts coming into play. I can't remember. And
it's
complicated.
complicated.
I should know because I've got people who fairly close to the family who are that connection.
You just probably think of them as, I'm related to them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And having been going through the movies, because the first Kaito Kid movie, it's her dad in the role of, oh my goodness, Kaito Kid's going to nick something of mine. And he's a very boring character, so I can see why they replaced him. He doesn't show up he shows up mainly in the movies. He doesn't show up very often, the dad character. And at which point I was like, so what's the relationship? And that's when I realized, I got it wrong. I thought he was the granddad because he is the age that he could be the granddad.
Yeah.
But we've never met a granddad. So I just was assuming on his age that he was a grandfather, but no, father's cousin. So apparently there's just like loads and loads of members of this family who are benefiting from their ill-gotten wealth. So I also watched the 6th movie, which is just full of rage against the Japanese society. And I was like, wow, okay. And then I was like, okay, this was written by somebody who doesn't normally write Detective Conan stories. I'm up to movie 7 so far, and 6 is the one I definitely recommend of those 7 to watch. It's very good on multiple levels. But yes, no rage here because I don't think Aoyama likes that. As I was reading, because the other one I remember being a bit like this is Zero the Enforcer, where it's raging about treatment of informants by Japanese legal system. And I read the article on the guy who writes that and writes most of the movies nowadays on the Detective Conan wiki, and it pointed out like the very first version of the script he submitted was too real, and he was told to go and revise it. And then from then on, he was like, "Okay, I'm going to try not to write it in my style nowadays. I'll try and write it in the style of Detective Conan."
Can we change some of these names? It feels starting to get real personal here. No. Let's keep it as it is.
Yeah. I think generally Detective Conan has a positive view on the whole law enforcement thing of society.
To a degree. I think everyone in Bakertown is borderline incompetent.
Yeah.
They do make it clear that they overly rely on
a small child to solve the things. Yeah. There's a whole industry. There's a whole cottage industry. Even younger detectives. So yeah.
I think it speaks to the actual degradation of law and order there. That like a 9-year-old child, no matter how smart and clever he is still like even considered to be like a reliable and official asset up to them.
Yeah, I'm generally of the opinion of one of my favorite pieces of Japanese media regarding the cops is that you can't rely on the police, only trust your fists. I think that was the one.
Yep. Well, if they aren't going to like have your back with a rocket launcher to shoot a ring of fire around the enemies, then who can you trust these days?
What's the point?
Anyway, more importantly for the ongoing story, I guess Kaito Kid's story will have to be wrapped up in Detective Conan because he doesn't have his own comic anymore. But the ongoing story, the overall arching story, is this gets Conan in the news again of being the kid killer because he once again prevented him from suing this crowd, even though he didn't. Kid just left it behind. We now meet another.
He never steals the actual thing, but
we meet another mysterious old man. Not the mysterious old man we've been seeing in the past few arcs. This is a brand new one who has a falcon. He's got a real life falcon. He's got a cane in the shape of a falcon's head, and he takes that cane and he is so angry at Conan but he smashes his phone in.
He
at the side of this
repeatedly
little punk kid.
stomps the cane butt into the phone. It's like, fuck this kid. I fucking hate him. I'll smash my own phone up for it.
He seems to be more into the cane, if the whole thing, But do you get to see the phone to have like a wallpaper of a hawk on it too?
Don't think we do. No, it's just looking.
No hawk themed dangler coming off the phone or anything like that. Just the cane and the hawk so far. But we'll see if there's more to it.
Well, that might have been his work phone, and everyone would smash that thing over the knee.
And he looks healthier than the other old man
he's not currently on an oxygen mask, yeah. So I mean, that's an improvement. Also, he's into falconry and shit. That's got a bit of stamina for that, right? It's a very outdoorsy thing.
Could it be the same, the serious old man, but just a little bit younger?
I don't think so.
Right, the two obviously different old men, because
if you got younger and into falconry, maybe, sure.
But Ghost Ray have character designs, they can tend to repeat themselves. Yes. So just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, this is definitely a very different looking guy. And we don't get any words from him this episode. We just get sheer anger expressed via cane to a JPEG of Conan's face.
Yeah. I was trying to think how Kaito was going to wrap up in Conan, and I was like, what if your man's magical eye that he's desiring, and the other two people who also have one eye, I assume also want the magic eye. What if that's the jewel? It's like a magic jewel that can function as a human eye. And that's the thing Kaito Kid's after.
Well, they're super science, but has supernatural ever figured into this before?
No.
All right.
No.
The only strange thing is a drug which makes you a child.
I don't think it's canonical that he's interacted with anything. He's interacted with Lupin, but he's not canonically interacted with Lupin, right? Because there's some weird fucking shit in Lupin. That would be the other weird thing.
Yes, there's Bond gadgets. There's Bond gadgets all over the place.
That's fine. You can give Bond gadgets to a child or child shrinking serum to an adult. That's fine. That's all
there's something odd with the Muth. That's the other thing. Is that she is older than she appears, but she's not as young as to have taken the poison to turn her into a child.
But if she was an old woman who took the poison and then grew up into a middle-aged woman, it's just I guess that would be the thing, because we know de-aging is a thing you can do, basically.
Yeah. But it's if does this dose de-age you 10 years at a time, so you can ideally get back to
just microdosing the tablet.
yeah.
Only take half of these now. I don't care how much for having. Only take half.
And she's connected to the Kaito Kid story because she learned her disguise skills from Kid's dad, the previous I think. So it could all tie in.
Yeah.
Good story. Now we just have to wait for the big one to come at some point this year. I was a little confused because I looked at the merchandise for Conan this year. And I was like, oh, it's all the Nagano cops, and they're the subject of the current arc. And then I looked at and I saw the information about the movie that's coming out later this year. I was like, oh, the movie's about the Nagano cops, so that's why he's done a story about the Nagano cops before the movie comes out. To make you additionally excited to see them.
Remember, these your favorites.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to have a flashback to a story I think they've already told in flashback of how your lad got the massive amount of scars on his body from the avalanche which collapsed on him.
If I had to fix his lawnmower, I'm willing to know. Oh.
Yeah, you don't pull the grass out while the engine's running. Don't make that
mistake. Especially not during an avalanche. Oh no.
Oh, terrible idea. The other thing is with Ray, I was kind of thinking that they're trying to sell me on the new guy by playing some smooth as fuck jazz and turning the volume up in it. And you see, I was like, it's fine. That's enough. That'll work for me.
Yeah, it's been long enough that I can't remember what his old voice sounded like at this point.
It's fine. It's just oh, smooth jazz. Yep, that's him. I recognize that voice anywhere.
Then we got Sakamoto Days, episode 3. Welcome to Sugar Park, in which Sakamoto is targeted by so many assassins.
by a minor assassin organization, but they're all themed. So yeah,
Yep,
you gotta have a theme.
The gimmick assassination fraternity.
Yeah.
Operating locally. To know JAA. It's one of this by Nagamo, who was immediately unmasked as being in disguise. When Sakamoto is being real talkative today. Yeah, it's like, he doesn't talk that much. He just had to see you speak, but like he's usually just sitting behind a counter, like having a smoke or having something to eat or reading the paper. But he's like talking about and thinking about it. Wait a minute, there's two of them. Nagamo, you old rascal, how you doing, you son of a bitch?
And he's here to warn Sakamoto that he's here to lie repeatedly and then tell a truth of there is a 1 billion bounty on Sakamoto's head, and maybe I could pick it up. I'm just fucking with you. I just come over to see how you're doing before you obviously get assassinated by the hundreds of assassins that are going to come after you tomorrow, because the information hasn't been released yet. Pizza for Mr. Sakamoto. I didn't order a pizza, but I'll certainly eat a pizza. And it's like, haha, I'm the pizza assassin. And then the assassin introductions with themed wipes. He gets a cheese wipe. So nice. Good stuff.
Enjoy it while it lasts, Pizza Man, because you get dispatched immediately.
They're all going to get dispatched immediately, but they all get an introduction. I think that's important.
Yeah, this particular bit of the story gives me very One vibes, both for Mob Psycho 100, because obviously it still looks like, with like just like here's a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, I'm crab man. I've turned to a crab and eaten too much crab. It's like, oh wow, that's a guy. You get it all summed up in one sentence, 20 words or less as his preference, and then
I've got one idea
killed.
for a character. He's going to show up and can immediately fucking die. I can't remember who the fuck I saw, but their favorite Fist of the North Star character is those three guys who show up with the one big sword and get immediately killed. It's just like that kind of fun idea. I've got a great fun idea. There's no legs on this, but it'll be great to do, and then for them to immediately be killed.
There's lots of those dudes. Like
not killed by Sakamoto, dispatched, I should say.
The ones whose kung fu is being shot off a cannon. It's just like, how do you make a kung fu out of that? But I don't know, we found a way. Run my half, eat your heart
out. Also, during this conversation, we learned the horrifying information for anybody over the age of 27 that Sakamoto is 27.
He's a rough 27.
Yeah, fucking. I mean, like his hair went grey. It's like, no, it was grey before. I was like, but he put on a lot of weight. It's like because he likes to eat. But the thing I do appreciate, I think I said it already in the show, is like he's gotten very fat. Yes, he's still built like a brick shit house. Like the arms on him. I was just like, no,
it's
those
the
are
arms that do it. Yeah, I mean, again, it's the Sammo Hung build.
Yeah, he's the shape of a bouncer, not someone to be fucked with. Like it's fine, but they do play his jowls for laughs quite a lot. So yeah,
but even bouncers need to take a day off.
27, man. I wish I was that fit a couple of years back. Dear.
But yeah, so but he was early on, people were like, oh, okay, got a grey-haired protagonist. He's a dad. I think they were all assuming he was going to be a little older than 27, and so
it says all that, and I think that's in my mind. I'm just going to like just shoot this up a bit, It's what kind of like I did something before with Bastard. It's just like the dude, like whose name, he's like, he's not being cool. Dark Schneider is this little dweeb, this little weed, and said, oh, he's like 15 years old, but he behaves like he's like 5. If one's saying, why not just make him a 5-year-old to begin with, and then it's like, it wouldn't be so fucking weird that a 15-year-old like that acts this way, especially around all these like scantily clad ladies and fucking heavy metal and magic and cool shit.
It's just odd choices all around.
Yeah, I think they're shonen jump choices. I think it's editors.
They got to be around the age of the people watching it, so they could imagine they could turn into Dark Schneider and have all the boobies pushed into them. Yeah.
Well, I've never like had a father or known a father or ever seen one on TV, so I couldn't relate to Sakamoto unless he's the same age as I am.
Yeah.
And even 27, I was like, listen, shonen's for kids, but also for like grown up, like people like read Dragon Ball and stuff who grew up reading Shonen Jump. So it's like you need to skew like way fucking higher if you want to get the dad range.
Thankfully, we got Kill Blue.
Yeah.
I guess which it's speaking of Conan, this uses just its own rules, just like just to fuck around with that, And in another way, then later on, that's been turned into a villainess. It's like, again, we have this mismatch of mind and body here.
Yeah.
Yes. That one's far too. Yeah, we'll get to that. That is definitely top 2 of the year so far.
But yeah, so after the warning from his ex thing and quickly dispatching pizza assassin, Sakamoto's like, yeah, I guess I'll lay low for a little while. And his daughter's like, cool, we're going to knock off Disneyland tomorrow, right? And he's like, fuck.
Yes.
I forgot about that. Shit, we're going into a very public space where
this is why it's really handy. It's really handy to have someone who can read your mind, like this around pretty quick. You can just like let them know, like, when say, "Oh, I gotta like fucking vent that I really fucked this up," so but without letting it on that I have.
Yeah.
I just need you to be around so I can pour all of my frustrations into you mentally. It's just okay, cool. Don't kill me in your mind again.
And yes, his daughter seemingly likes this park and its mascot so much because the mascot is essentially her dad.
I did. That's genuinely nice that she sees something in this violent fucking costumed rabbit that is just like that's your dad. Like he's not got the same haircut, but he's got the same like weird blonde, like really light hair for a pink rabbit.
Yeah.
But even the bit with the costume was like, oh, Sakamoto's going to end up with that costume. Wrong! They don't fucking go with that fucking thing. I'm like, that's good. It's
important today, like between Shin and Ludiga, keeping my perimeter off because we have to let the Sakamoto family enjoy their Sunday outing. It is our sworn duty to do so. We can't let them be fucking like wasting his time dispatching these idiots. We gotta take care of it ourselves.
So when the cleaner, who I assume is just called the cleaner, shows up in his clean uniform, who was lambasted for his old-fashioned look of a cleaner, shows up and he gets immediately dispatched by Sakamoto. They're just there to put him in the bin and cart him off before anyone fucking notices and ruins the family outing.
I think like literally his name is like Kurinya,
right? Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
That effect.
Bit on the nose, but like he's got his stick. It is a classic one, even though he's been knocked by all the other themed assassins. But he does not last piss in time. I think he gets a wipe. Is what his one is like. It's literally like a cloth wipe or something like that. It's good.
He's had a bad vibe. It's all about vibes, man. He's got to put like if he put like a vibe of killing intent out there, he's gonna pick up on it. So you just gotta play it real cool.
So that's
like I do.
Yeah, I think he's the best I can come up with is vibes assassin because he keeps saying. I mean, like he keeps saying.
Vibenstein because he's all stitched up as well. It's like weird.
He's got all the scars from all the assassination, but he can turn off his killing intent. Pretty good. So when he gets on the roller coaster in between Sakamoto's family and Shin, he's kind of only picked up because her kung fu girl is like, that guy looks extremely suspicious, and he turns around and is like, did they fucking pick up on me? In his mind, and Shin's like, fuck, he's thinking about the fact that he's hiding the fact that he's hiding. I got him. So
let's see, black trench coat, like wild hairstyle, covered in scars. He could be this in a band or something. Huh?
It's like any fucking anime rule, but it's like kind of the JoJo rule of it's like which of these is an enemy stand user. It's like the most fabulous one. That's
just an average person. It's just walking around minding their own business, molesting fruit or something.
Yeah,
it's a good job you guys are recapping this because I somehow watched the first half of this episode and the second half of the next episode.
Like you just sort of fell asleep and then woke back up as it was all a fucking plane. Yeah.
Or I thought I'd paused it and I hadn't paused it. And when I came back, it was just at the second half of the next episode.
The roller coaster fight is pretty good because it does like the cool things of like in the loop-de-loop, he's going to jump out of the roller coaster and land in it again. They're going to fight on the tracks, like that kind of shit. It does some of the interesting visual stuff that the comic does.
It's all about it's like the use of the environment and your sense of where you are in that environment, and it's doing what I can. You're like again. It's like maybe even to overdo it will kind of be too much, though. If the camera was just like flipping around and diving right in, and that'd be overdone.
You need to be able to follow the sense of space and everything. Which is like when Shin gets like hit by one of the poison blades of your man, and your man's like, you fear death. I don't fear death. That's why I'm strong. He's like, no, I fear death because I got something to fight for, which means I fight stronger. But your vision's going all blurry because you can't fucking see because I poisoned you. They end up on the Sentai stage where the rabbit is doing his regular daily fight, I guess, with baddies. And Shin's like, I'm going to borrow the rabbit costume. And then he's like, now that I can see, I'll be fine, because everyone in the audience is looking, and he can see through all of their eyes and play himself like a third-person fighting game character.
Oh,
Like,
but he's doing even better than that, where he's just like, Sakamoto and family are in the audience.
That's true
He
as
keeps
well,
following their toss, and he's just going like, up, dodge right, left jab, uppercut. Okay, judo
so
flip.
Sakamoto's playing the game in his mind. He's basically going like, here's what you should do, like kind of calling the shots. And Shin's like, yep, those are all solid choices.
Yeah, it is a good pounding. It is a good fucking just knocking the shit out of this dude. So, again, I think it'll just kind of build bit by bit once we get the real hard cases come into the story and we get the extended, protracted action sequences.
And next week, or last week for Brian, we're going to have Hard Boiled, which is a great character who only comes back, I think, once. He
has appeared later on. He is an important and recurring character. Yeah. He's a bit like Buggy when they find him in prison as well. It's just like, oh yeah, remember me?
Yeah,
in the comic. Yeah,
very similar. Yeah.
Then we got Orb on the Movements of the Earth, episode 18, to Liberate Information. In which we open with her uncle trying to sell Draka to Antony in return for him not being punished for his crimes. And then we get an interesting conversation between Antony and Draka, where basically the end she's like explaining where she sees the church going, and it seems like Antony is kind of probably is seeing the same thing, and that's why he wants to go and have a chat with her.
No, because basically, he's not in this. He's not in this for trying to preserve the sanctity of Christianity. He's just saying, what kind of money and prestige can I get out of this? And here's somebody obviously very business minded who was like dug around literally in the scraps to make like an economy and a fortune for her people. She's got a good business set. Maybe we can figure something out. I might find a job for you. And he's like saying, we'll just stop Christianity from from losing its authority. And she says, you can't. It's going to happen. And there's nothing you or I or anybody else can do about it. It's just inevitable.
Because when he's talking to her, like the conversation's like, why did you steal clothes from those things? Like he's kind of curious. He's like, what's your fucking thing here? Wouldn't it be better like to steal valuables? It's like, you'd think that they're harder to get. You're competing with a lot of people. This is a fucking legit. This is a business. We can make this this is consistent money coming in, not like quick money, quick, difficult, dangerous money. This is like, we can run this perpetually and increase our profits exponentially.
It's baby clothes. It's a foolproof business plan because baby's always being born and you're always like running out of clothes so quick, so you're always going to need clothes. It's genius.
Everyone needs random satchels for coin purses and shit. And Bishop's like, yeah, you're smart. I was like, what can we do to fix the Catholic Church? And she's like, nothing. This is inevitable. And the Bishop's like, yeah, so you're obviously going to give me ideas of where to fucking invest my money when this whole shit goes tits up.
Because he's like, come with me to the church. We'll discuss this some more. As they're walking off, he spots the book. He goes, "What's that book?" And then we get discussion. Like, realize, oh, you better hand that over to us.
But her thinking, and she mightn't be fucking wrong in this. It's like, this might be the guy that I go like, we could make a lot of money on this. Like, the Catholic Church is going away, so why not invest in the ground fucking floor of this thing, which is going to make like these thoughts. This isn't an original work. Lots of people are thinking like this. What if we start investing in anti-Catholic shit while also being in charge of Catholicism? It's like win-win. We're the opposition and the fucking we're both sides.
Well, we learn around about it's jumped around a few decades at a time now, but we learn we have a bit more of where it is, and the Reformation is in full swing. So that kind of sentiment floating around.
I think
it's like I said, it's not an original. Like the heliocentrism, a lot of people are arriving on their own fucking accord, but there's a lot of people going like, I don't like the way this shit's run, and it's specifically like bishops like this cunt who are white people don't like the way it's run because he's very much so in it for himself.
Yes, I think a reformation is happening.
One of the many. It
happened. It was capitalized, so you know.
Yes, it's not. It's not one which has happened in our reality. I think it's.
Yeah, I think
it's happening in P Kingdom. You know, it doesn't stand for anything.
Yeah.
And yes, it's happening against the Sea Church. I think this is important, I believe, for how the story ends.
The Church of
Yeah.
that you have to bear in mind that this is not our reality.
When I say Christianity and all that shit, like it's clear that
it is Christianity. Yes, it is
it is.
Catholicism.
It's
but
100% a version of Catholicism that, as a Christian fucking thing, her people, they keep saying itinerants and stuff like that. They're clearly supposed to be Roma people or something like that.
Yes.
But we can't. They're not literally the Roma people. They are a version of that.
They just call them nomads in the
but
in the
but
dialogue.
a similar filling a similar niche essentially.
Yes. I think you have to continue to remember that because of how this thing ends.
We're probably just going to keep calling it Catholicism and everything just because it's easier.
But
you don't like a pope.
That's what they're going for. Like, come on.
It's definitely what they're going for. But
it's not literally a thing that happened in history.
The author has said is essentially a lot of the story is about how Japanese misunderstood this part of history. Whether that's a thing they've come up with since they realised they would misunderstood the history when they were writing it, or whether it was something there from the start.
Well, I imagine for the ultimate, like the thesis they have here about not just must be free, man. You can't just stop it. That one. Well, what's been a really good example of that is this. And say, oh yeah, that's the whole like fight for the church. You can't keep it under wraps was a good example of that. So using that as my basis, I'm gonna go tell the story about it.
Yes. Yeah, as she's thinking, I'm going to hand this book over. Maybe this guy will listen to heliocentrism as a thing to make profit. And she's about to hand it over. That fucking dude's arms get chopped off. Not the bishop, some random fucking guy, unfortunately. But, because
I assume you just have to keep it, Tony. We're going to wonder, like, we never get to see what Antoni's point of view was. He just gets cut down in this scene, but that does not happen. He is still around. So
no, he's running away. Defend me, you fools! As a bunch of those fools are getting fucking cut down by
Smith and the boys,
mysterious knights that have suddenly appeared. It's like it's the same fucking lads again, wearing their cool helmets again.
And Schmidt's like, "Give me that book, young lady," and she's like, "Not gonna get." Also, during the fight, though, her uncle gets his throat slit open by accident.
Not by one of the Schmitz guys, but by one of the guys that they fucking cut open, and he
it's
ran
just
and
like
goes,
a random swing. It just gets in the way of it, and he just catches one.
A stray shot of a sword, essentially. Yeah.
And she's got like fun. So he's like, "Oh, help me, fun. Said you're about to send me out to the fucking bishop, you bastards." But at the same time, and like when she leaves, she just says, "See you, uncle." It's just like, even though you sold me out, even though you did raise me and teach me everything I know, so I can't fully hate
even her
you.
trying to like fuck him over at the end is like, "Oh, you tried to sell me into slavery, you piece of shit. Like you're going to hell." He's like, "I told you, there's no hell." It's just like he's still getting fucking wisecracks out as he's fucking dying. It's funny.
But I think more importantly, he's hanging on to his convictions to death, and that's the thing which makes her go, "This is the point in my life. I've got to stick to my convictions." So
he taught her right. Weirdly enough, despite being a massive fucking asshole, he did teach her the right things for her survival. Yeah.
I'm not going to hand you this book, you weirdo. I'm going to set fire on it to it. You have to bring me with you because I'm the only one who's read the book from front to end.
And he talks to the guy. He's like, "Did you read the rest of the book?" He's like, "I only got the start of it."
I skimmed it.
Like,
sorry.
All right, you're coming with us then. Off you come. Like, and they're not even like tying her up or anything. They just kind of walk off. It's like, "Come on, you're coming with us."
The rest episodes just like them in the wagon on the way to home base,
having philosophical debates / arguments.
Yeah. God, Schmidt is so annoying.
Her inner monologue was like, he's so fucking wordy. What the fuck? Like, he just goes on and on and on. It's like that repeated joke was very good because he is insufferable. We like him, but fuck again. This show does a good job, like Bedini, of making a guy who's like, fuck this guy. He's very fun to watch, though.
Yeah, it's just like as he talks, if he just kind of stops at a certain point, but I get to use Kai's point of view, and then it says it's like, well, why did it seem that the devil was like interfere with God's creation? Can't be allowed. I mean, so that means if like we say you were about to get eaten by a bear in the middle of the woods right now, I wouldn't intervene. It gotta be like a documentarian, man. That's just God's will. You just gotta be eaten by a bear today. So you wouldn't do anything to defend yourself. Nope, you're getting eaten by a bear. That's just it. That's just God's got in store for me. No way.
Yeah. If it was God's will to fucking like for you to be into naturism or whatever the fuck it is you're into, why wasn't it God's will to create a corrupt church? Huh? Maybe that's what he fucking wanted. Maybe that's why it's there. Did you ever think about that, Schmidt? You fuck.
Yeah. Also, it becomes clear though that regardless of what he thinks, he's going along with their leader's idea, which does not appear to be in line with his entirely.
No. that's the other thing. Like the lads don't seem to agree with him on this as
No.
well. This is entirely
If-
Schmidt thing.
It feels like more he got into this because it's just lined up the best with what he personally believes. So it's just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
A lot of this kind of comes about because they're talking, they're vibing. She's like, "Oh, so you guys don't believe in God either?" And Smith's like, "Fucking what? No, I definitely fucking believe in God. I just don't believe in organized religion.
Yes.
I'm actually incandescent with rage right now, but I'm willing to have this open discussion with you." It's like,
But
shut
that's
the fuck
God's
up.
will, so I'm well outside.
He's such a
But
shit.
yeah, you're right. The repeated three, the rule of three on the I don't
Yeah.
believe in God bit is so just nails everything I love about it. It's the fact that that's not necessarily a joke. It's got the
Yeah.
rhythm of the joke and it
Yes.
functions as a joke.
It's just like a very awkward situation where instead of somebody making a social
Yeah.
faux pas, they might get their head cut off. So whoa, that'd be awkward.
But yeah, you're right. The three guys don't seem to all be on the same page or doing this for all the same reasons. It's just that they think what the leader wants will get them closer to what they want. Is kind of
because at one point, like we have this like, well, I guess we'll have to agree to disagree. I disagree entirely with your philosophy, and she's like, I disagree entirely with your philosophy. It's fucking stupid, and you're saying it's logical. It's like, that's not fucking logical, man. That's choices you made. And Smith's like, no, what I do is logical. And they're like, oh, it's dawn. Smith's like, all right, I gotta go sunbathe for a minute. Give me a second.
and him deciding who won the argument by tossing a coin.
Yeah, it's like heads God is real, tails God isn't real. It's like, well, heads.
It landed
like,
there. It's God's will. It landed on heads. He
I
agrees with
didn't
me.
fucking agree to it, and also that's arbitrary as fuck. It's like, yeah, I got to sunbathe for a minute. It's like, bathing in God's fucking beautiful creation. And obviously, her opinion on the dawn is very fucking different. Like trauma is what she associates with the dawn, and so she's like, no, I fucking hate it. It's horrible. I don't like looking at it.
Just at the dawn just shows up all of my father's blood and all the money he left me in the world.
The dawn happens, repeated cycle. It's nothing you can fucking do about it. It's inevitable, and it's obviously the continuing fucking march towards death, the thing that she's trying to quash her fear of. So yeah, it's bad. It reminds her of bad things.
Yeah. And though it turns out the leader, their plan is in line with her plan of getting this thing printed and put out there. And
she disagrees with Schmidt, but on the three principal inventions that changed the fucking world, she's fucking really fucking excited by the Gutenberg fucking shit. It's just like, that's how to make a lot of fucking money.
I was just thinking of that. Whoa.
Movable type. Yeah, I think also that's another clue that this is our timeline. Is the timelines of the Reformation, and movable type's been like around 100 years before the Reformation.
But it's like used for a different purpose, I think, is the idea. Because obviously compasses have been around for a while. What was the third invention?
Explosives.
Explosives. Of course, fucking Schmidt's mad about explosives, but that is gonna rock the world as well. So fair, yeah.
And who would the leader be? Well, what a surprise! It's Yolenta, the only character who really could be thematically in the story.
So she's like 40 or 39 now, I think, by the timeline.
Yeah. 25 years later, so.
Again, nice to have an actual old character, Sakamoto, not actually fucking old.
Tell she's older because she's taller. She's got
have it continuing characters.
Yeah.
To have one who didn't get tortured or poisoned or anything before the time gap.
If you live long enough for it, that's the other thing.
Yeah, and that's where we leave it, as we see.
Yeah, again, it's for like it's all on character work because visually it's just they're in the fucking wagon for like 20 minutes. Brief stop off to look out the window and then back in the wagon again.
I realized when I said last episode, it's like everyone has these wagons for some reason. I was like, it's because they have the CG model of that wagon and horse fucking thing. And I was like,
it's
that's
a good model, all right?
It's fine. We're gonna have a lot of scenes in this fucking wagon, so we better do a good job of it. And I was just like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Then we've got Kinnikuman, Perfect Origin Arc, Season 2, Episode 14. I'm sure it had a title.
Belief of the Noble Kung Fu Expert?
That's it.
Yeah, okay.
In which we first get the remainder of the fight between our Kung Fu experts. And then we're going to fight between a black hole and a tap.
It's good.
It's why is he so dangerous?
I think he's a hot tap. I think specifically.
See, I thought he had one side was hot tap and the other side was cold tap. I was like, what's the point of cold tap? I was like, oh, it's too cold. I fucking need to turn them both on to get it just right temperature. It's like, no, they're both hot taps. That's the danger.
I thought, like, you know, like he'd like, you know, he'd run it like absurdly hot, you know, it's like, no, boiling is immediate top. Maybe he can run it absurdly cold and freeze things. But no, it's just like, no, he's just bad plumbing. He's a bad man.
Bad plumbing would be a better wrestler name. Yeah, doesn't matter.
No, yeah, but he isn't called Tap Man. It's called like Jack Chi.
Yes.
It's like, no, I know I'm not being Tap Man. No, that's lame. Using the name like, you know, I'm a legacy wrestler. I guess I'm Jack Chi. Jack
but
Chi,
yeah,
roots of the earth.
like apparently for kung fu purposes, having a dragon that comes out of either fucking shoulder is pretty good, because it gives you extra limbs in order to do cool moves. But those dragon heads can be used against you.
Not the blue one, you know. For the blue one is just like, you know, we've had discipline problems with it here. It's just like, you know, it'd be a real shame if my opponent who defeated me to teach me the value of mercy. And then the dragon bites my throat up and says, that's a bad dragon. Why are you killing me for?
Yes, you had to tell the dragon off earlier because it was interfering in their honourable.
It was going for him. It's like, let him get up. Like it was just like, hey, you could have taken me out with that move. It's like, no, I'm going to make sure that you're up. Like I want to finish this legitimately because I'm the ultimate that doesn't do cheap tactics. Other of the other guys, the perfect guys, are they will use cheap tactics because
anything to win.
They're perfect, but he's like, I'm perfect in that I don't fucking use cheap tactics.
Yes.
That's my fucking
thing.
I learned kung fu wrestling in the kung fu wrestling school, the same one you went to, and it cut back to yesterday, where he's wearing a variation on the same helmet in the kung fu fucking temple, learning wrestling kung fu.
Dragons came later.
Yeah. That was a later edition. Yeah. Ordered under the gi, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think the perfect Trojan cheat, but they'll use.
They'll be more ruthless.
They'll be more ruthless. And
if Jack Chi is willing to fight Black Hole, who's full of extra holes from a dog fucking biting them into him, I feel like he's being cheap. Like it's just like that's not a fair fight.
Oh yes, but they'll be cheap, but they won't cheat. I think they make it clear here that they won't actually cheat.
Fair. Okay.
Opportunists.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't be perfect if they cheated.
Okay.
Yeah. So he like targets Ramen Man's old head wound.
Yes, the one Warsman gave you, which still stings to this day.
So, like again, it's hard for me because I'm still new to this. Everyone is wearing a mask, so that's like blood coming through his mask.
Yes.
From his old head wound.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Because out of that, like 4 holes in his head is basically.
I guess the skin of his mask remembers the wound.
I assume it's just bleeding through the mask. Is the
Even
thing,
though he's changed masks to that, he was Mongol man partially through, and then like he just went back to being Rama man afterwards. So he's changed masks in between, but it's like the masks remember.
Yeah, and it becomes clear that Ramen Man is trying to knock Marvelous out so that he won't kill himself.
I want him to get the knockout, not the murder, as these fights often go. And if I knock him out, it'll be like ding, 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 and he'll have to wake up and go like, fuck, I can't kill myself honorably now because I've been unconscious for a couple of minutes. Like that's the timing's off, so he won't be able to honorably kill himself for losing fucking once.
Yeah, he recognizes too that like, no, I stopped killing dudes, because if I killed everybody I fought with, I would have no friends left, and I wouldn't have all these friends who to teach me about the value of friendship, especially. And they also didn't kill me when they beat me, so I thought let's be nice to each other, not killing anybody.
One of my biggest regrets in life was eating that Nazi. We could have been friends. But I'm friends with his son now, so it all works out in the end.
I can't raise him as my son now.
And also, it's telling that of all the people who've come back from the dead, we've not bothered bringing his dead Nazi father back.
How? He's been turned into ramen and I assume poop after it, so that guy's fucking gone.
I'm not touching that. No way.
And the toilet guy's been turned back into a human, so there's no way we can do anything with poop related stuff. But it's obvious that why they don't bring him back, because it's fucking Nazi. Don't bring back a Nazi.
Yes. But yeah, Nemesis tells Marvelous to kill himself. He can't kill himself. But
I'm too physically weak to kill myself because I've been fucking choked out in, I think technically 3 necks. Because the dragons as well.
Yeah. Yes, because he wraps to the necks around the neck, didn't he? To get the check.
To cut off the oxygen supply.
But the blue left dragon is
bad.
Stabs him through the chest with its face, I think.
Isn't it funny how always the left or sinister dragon is always the evil one?
I think that's the stupid one for King Ghidorah, isn't it? Yeah.
Can't check. It wasn't on again this week.
Yeah, I meant from the movies, but yeah, you're right.
Springman finally gets up those stairs, and he's going to face the Grim Reaper, the guy who is clearly inspired by your fella from
Dragon
Ball.
Yeah. Very much so.
Kilvern.
I knew Vern, but I was just like, what was the first part? Death Vern? No.
Yeah. And then we get the fight between Jack Chi and Black Hole. Does seem very cruel to make Black Hole fight with all those bites in him.
Well, like we couldn't talk him out of it. He was just ready to go. I think all of the blood loss and bites have actually made him crazier. As I thought he seemed pretty like a lot more nuts than you would have expected. This from his first fight. I thought, he's quite like a Black Hole. He's probably much more composed as he was. He's like go. He's got a really weird laugh.
He's got a weird laugh. He will turn into, like, he can do the multiple shadows thing. Doesn't matter. You can boil all of these cunts.
He'll swallow his own face, his own body through his face.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. So he's capable of very crazy plays. But my favorite fucking thing, and it's used repeatedly in this fight, which is great, is shooting a blast of like compressed, steaming
super
fucking
hot
water.
air. It's about water.
And he's like, I'm just going to slide down it as if a fire pole, using the hole in my face to not fucking touch it, while shouting "glory hole" as a move. I'm just like, fucking hell, show. That's amazing. This is shit I can never have seen before or again, I imagine.
He keeps working on it until the Jack G and saying, my counterattack, I'll turn the tap off halfway through. It's like, no, you fooled me.
Yeah. Wild shit. Great stuff.
And yes, he's now trapped in steam, is how we leave him at the end of the episode.
Because you can't cast shadow if the sun isn't there, because I've put up a load of steam, so you can't turn into multiple dudes or melt into the canvas or any of your usual shit.
Yeah. So, like, two of them have to go down, like, for Kinnikuman and Terryman to get in. So I think this is, like, one of them. But it's, like, he's going in there, like, all cut up, so it's to be expected. And then, like, when Buffalo Man or something would say, just this once, I'm going to let Kinnikuman avenge my fallen comrade.
No more people will show up in the next stage.
Yeah, no, more people will show up. But it turns out there were more perfect children, so don't fucking worry. We got plenty of those guys.
Oh, I'm sure there is, yeah. Also, yeah, because he did mention like Black Hole and saying, if I remember, like I did my counterpart Pentagon, if only they were here, we do our special move together. So I wonder if Pentagon is going to like come in from backstage. It's like, oh my god, they're playing his entrance music.
Pentagon's come in with a steel chair and some sort of counter to a hot tap. Excellent. That's exactly what
he's got a big wad of hair. He's going to watch into the plumbing. He's like, oh no, my one weakness.
That's where we leave it. The animation for the second half is a lot better than the animation in the first half of this episode.
Yeah, it's just like, just wrap it up, Nazi Kid. Let's just get this work. Sorry, not Nazi Kid. Nazi Kid is more commenting on it. He's speedwagoning the situation. That's the thing. Yeah,
and then the dazzling stuffs with Black Hole and his he's constantly shouting at the phrase "glory hole."
Yeah.
Do they know what that means? Do they know what that means?
I guess in this case they like Black Hole because they really kind of pulled it out. Yeah. Also, just a weirdo. Like he's got like 50 moves. Like these are all like some things he can do. Like, it's just a black hole. I also have like shadow forms and duplicates and.
Yeah, those seem like they should belong to separate wrestlers, but they've given them all to this one fucking crazy guy. So they're giving him a lot to do. Yeah. My favorite part about one of my favorite parts about Jack Chi is the fact that he has to turn his own taps using the opposite hand to the one that is on the tap. That's very funny to me. It's not automatic.
Weakness.
just lock those taps closed. Yeah.
Then we got Zenshu, episode 4, Eternity, in which, yes, that elf was actually suspicious. She's trying to end the world.
I like the fact that we don't have to figure out. It's like, what's the plot thing? Is that elf's like acting suspicious? And our main character has watched the movie and fucking knows that elf is suspicious as fuck. And there's loads of fan theories about it because they didn't really explain it in the ending. But it's just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's her.
It's like if I want to just like watch like Freer and Beyond Journey's End, the like super depressing version in just like short order. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
It was somewhat like rather than like using their long life, but it's a tragedy, but it's about kind of weathering that, walking on. It's just like, no, I'd rather not see any of my friends die. I've watched my friends die for thousands of years now. I'd rather have the world end and see we should all go down together.
She's got elf like Lord of the Rings rules. You technically don't ever die unless like a piano falls on you or like an orc war or whatever. But like that, like no, you just keep going and going and going and going and watching everyone you love die.
She's become a nihilist.
Yeah. Not
like me. She doesn't believe in me. She just like believes in nothing.
Thing.
Yeah. So the choir is a death cult who are trying to turn her into the ultimate void.
When they're like kind of sneaking around, it's like, it's like they're obviously having it in the graveyard, a normal place to do choir practice. It's like they're having it under the statue of the legendary hero of me. It's like, it's weird that there's a gap there. I'll cut that open. It's like sneak, because he's following her and she's following illusory wall. And they kind of sneak in, and then it's like freaking Temple of Doom, where they're kind of looking in and it's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on in here? Very
it's the fucking coolest choir I've ever been to.
Yeah, they sure are singing about death and destruction a lot, huh? This popular fucking song. It's just like, no, they're singing about the end of the world. They're like, damn, I guess we didn't summon the ultimate void with that song. Maybe next week we'll do a better job. Dear.
BS, how are you going to thwart a choir who are trying to bring about the ultimate void? Well,
also, how are we going to talk down our friend who was just like, you trying to end the world? Because we're trying to not end the world. That's what.
Just to set up for that, it's like here's a plan. We're just going like Luke, just going like just going to kind of talk to her and say, I can't talk to her. And she tries like fun, invites her on just like for lunch. Just like, lovely day we're having today, and she's like, yeah, I suppose we are. Like, damn, I can't find an opening to ask her about the thing, and she just bursts in the door. Listen, you're gonna turn into the ultimate void. I know you were showing it in the grave. I was like, oh, for God's sake. Well,
even Luke's thing of being able to like, I'll make her a nice cake, and she's also eating the cake outside like a fucking goblin. And just like, and she's like, yep, eating the cake, and it's just like, there's no non-awkward way to open. It's like, you're trying to end the world with your death cult. There's no nice way of doing it. So you're
but I'm very depressed.
Oh, the reason they don't confront her in the graveyard as well, because the fucking unicorn showed up. And it's like, what's going on, guys? And it's like, we need to get this unicorn drunk and back home stat, because the unicorn will just blab it to everyone in town, and there'll be like, a witch hunt for all the death cult members. So we don't need this getting out of hand with the unicorns involved. They do agree on that. So the luncheon intervention was the best method, apparently.
Oh no, the best method turns out is to animate a knockoff Utano Prinsima character.
So she believes in nothing.
Musical.
She believes in nothing. It's like, what if I give her something? What if I gave her something beautiful in this world to hang on to? So the whole thing was like, okay, so you'll come in and you'll animate the ultimate void, and then it'll be like, I'm the ultimate void. Stop trying to fucking summon me. And she's like, I mean, like, it seems like a bad idea, but yeah, okay, I'll do that. So then they're doing the death cult thing, and he's snuck in, and their final plan is to kill the hero, and they're all like, the hero's here, fucking stab him in a minute. And then they can't save the world. So she's like, fuck, they're actually summoning the ultimate void. Shit, what the fuck do I, or at least our elf has turned into the visage of that, which he did at the end of the movie. So it's all going to plan, I guess. So she's like, I need something pure and beautiful, something to live for, like a pretty boy. That will be definitely something to stick around in the world.
An ultimate void. How about an ultimate exister? Yeah, ultimate like opposite of that thing.
So him coming in and it's like, no, I'm not the ultimate void. It was just like, oh my god, fucking. And then
I'm the also other way, fully animated, fully colored in, and Mamoru Miyano.
And also, if you can pull someone into a musical number, they have to apply by the rules of the musical number. That's just it. They have to sing along, and now they believe the thing in the musical number. It's musical number universe rules. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And they've got a great musical sequence. And so I was like, yeah, this is definitely the same person who wrote lots of Space Dandy episodes. Because this was the point. I was like, yeah, it's this, the style changing each episode is a great move.
Yeah.
I'd see she kind of like comes onto that and then it's just like, oh yeah, like, I did a bit of animation work for this like this show about sexy lads, like, you know, and it was a bit of a slog, like, you know, but I picked up a lot from it now, and if I could kind of like do something like that for you today, I'm glad I kind of worked on it and got some tips and something to do with that. Because again, this is feeding into this Sakuma fantasy to help her get over her mental block, whatever it is. It's like she's like, you know, I'm gonna draw like a really convincing like ultimate void when it appears if I'm saying it's just like it should like, you know, have a big impact, you know, but it's just
big
not
presence.
quite right.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I gotta draw some more. And it's just by kind of going back to kind of basic stuff and being reminded of things she's already worked on and succeeded at. It's just like she's getting a bit more like got that creativity flowing again. Just for zany schemes, but again, don't try and like, you know, throw your head against a brick wall trying to solve this big problem in front of you. You just like, you know, figure out little pieces of it. You know, to go back to basics, just like, you know, think how would like a young me tackle this? I already am a young me, but a younger me, more like one that's beaten down by the world.
And it's the thing of like when you're in a creative when you're making something and you find like the characters, the way you've written them, it's just like I want them to do this thing to continue the plot or to change the plot in this direction, but it'd be going against their character to do that. So it's like, I have this depressed elf who's nothing to fucking live for. What if she's something to fangirl over? It's like perfect. And it's like she's like, I'm just gonna fangirl over these drawings that you did for me because this guy's fucking hot. I love it. It's great.
But it could be as simple as that. Like when you're in like the real like depths of a depression, like, you know,
just
you're something worth hanging on for. It's gonna be something though. Maybe just like, you know, well, fucking that restaurant I love is having like, you know, like their annual special menu coming on the rest. Or it could be as simple as One Piece, you know, it's going. I want to see the ending of that one day, so I gotta at least hang on until like I see the end of that, you know. And that's again how like sometimes it's just like, you know, a nice piece of like artwork, or maybe even just a silly film. You just like, you know, you got really like just like makes you feel good when you watch it. That could be enough, like, you know, and that's the kind of value of what she does. So that just kind of thinks as well. That might outlast me, like, you know, this was immortal, but as like somebody who works in animation, you know, works in TV and film, these will outlive me, and who knows how many more times into the future I might be able to get through to somebody and like lift them up a little bit.
And it's also like in this case, she's basically doing like a fan fiction of one of her favorite but flawed works that's kind of unknown. It's like, what if we went with a super happy ending? Like that's what I'm kind of aiming for essentially here. What if everything was fine?
What if a bird who showed up who looks like the author of the original work shows up and looks at you suspiciously without you noticing?
What if the unicorn notices like, hey, are you guys falling in love? What the fuck is going on?
No, it's like, yes, you are, because you're far too casual around each other. Because she's just like, you know, just fucking doesn't give a hoot. Like, you know, I know how this film goes. I know what you like from your character sheet. You know, I've also like read the like accompanying guidebook, so I know all the little facts, including Marilyn's real name. It's just like even you don't know that, so we got you beat.
But the other thing is she's adding things to the world the whole time. She knows the characters back to front with their character profiles and that kind of shit. It's like, I don't remember them saying the fucking hero baked. It's like, I don't remember it saying that she was in a choir. She's adding these details in to make it a more richer world, to make it a full series rather than a movie that is kind of flawed and doesn't quite work. But that's why it sticks with you, because you want to fix those flaws.
Yeah, maybe I could fix him. I'm saying that Destiny, I think you've missed your shot here. I think
Destiny's going to be a fucking wrestler now. She's grand. She's sorted.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what the reality of what's happening will be, particularly because the other thing we're watching has revealed the reality of what's happening.
I'm glad it didn't spend too long like keeping its cards to its chest. It's like, no, just playing. What is going on here? I'm glad.
We'll get to that in a bit.
We will.
Why have I skipped over it when I should know? It'll be after Trinity Game. First up, we got Dr. Stone, Science Future, Episode 4, Dr. X. Dr. X. Well, it's Dr. Zeno. He's our American mad scientist.
I was thinking how American this is as well, because they arrive in America and are immediately shot at, and now the military-industrial complex wants a piece of the action. I'm just like, oh yeah,
just
America.
so quickly it popped up. It's only been a couple of years. It's like it's already there. It just takes root.
Yeah.
Weed.
Right to the fucking on point criticism of Americanism.
Well, they've already got like a whole like a corn farm and like a cultural concern going up, like a manufacturing ability. We could just like use science to build our own, and I think I'm live peacefully could alongside them. But I think they've made their intent clear. Let's use science to just take all their stuff, like this plane we shot down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they, by the end of the episode, they have captured Gin.
I mean, like, captured is a very strong fucking word.
It's more like Gin has just
they have captured Gin. Gin has fucking made sure he went on ahead.
Jen.
I'm saying it wrong as well. Yeah, they captured Jen. Like, he's basically went, I'm fucking going to go in there and do my talky thing. I'm going to partially lie and say, like, I left the science country because I was just like, they drove, like, he was adding in truths in there to make his lie more convincing of it. They are real slave drivers. That fucking guy who fucking runs it is a real piece of shit. It's just like, true. But he hasn't actually left. He's like, I'm their man on the inside now. Excellent.
Yes.
But they do have him hooked up to a lie detector, which is, he's kind of like, okay. That's a challenge.
Well, it's gotta be the polygraph, yeah. But like, it's a nice like reflection of like when he initially defected from Tsukasa's side to Senku's side. Saying so like, like I know I'm using my deceit for the side of good.
No, I'm not actually defecting, but I'm going to make it look like I'm defecting. Which I assume if he felt like it, he could still defect if this was a better fucking deal.
And I like how Zeno's response is, well, because Stanley's like, well, he's not lying. And then he's like, well, he's either very good at lying or he's a complete innocent, either of which is useful to us.
I do like one of the things that does bug me in the subtitles is that like they keep going like Stanley when Zeno is referring to him. It's like he's saying Stan. They're very close. It's like they're really trying to downplay that these guys are just very comfortable around each other. But also, Stanley is gorgeous. We get the full Stanley reveal. He's just chain smoking constantly, though. One of the first things I guess they had to start making was cigarettes again. Before corn, probably. Unless he's smoking corn. Can you smoke corn?
Well, if you can, maybe like the ancient Aztecs or Maya, probably. But as Maya, they smoked everything, so they probably
that's true. They try anything. Yeah.
Yes, they are cowards and don't give us the swinging machine gun phallic chemistry from the comic.
Nothing is quite as horny as Buichi, so that I understand. Like, that's fair.
He's got a new comic coming as well.
Hey, so, excellent.
Like lots of guns attacking set in the Wild West.
Oh, lovely.
Lots of gun dicks on that one. You betcha.
No, of course, I think some of the horniness though in Dr. Stone is from Inagaki doing the storyboards before Buichi drew the final comic. So
that's I can't pin it all on one. That's fair.
I do like how they take the plane out.
Even the
acetylene something gas. It's just like this happens to just like make engines of planes stall out. It's just like, oh, good thing we had all that in hand, and a scientist, chemist knows and mix them up.
Like he very quickly just filled a beaker with fucking river water. It's just like I don't have fucking time. Like but it only has to be like in 1%. It's harmless to humans, but it will stall an engine pretty quick.
I do like that. I've like that panicked scrabbling of Senku. Again, it reminds me of like back in the old before they had all of this. And it's just like he was having like fight like Tsukasa, who's got like a giant fucking like flint swords once. It's just like the desperate class scrambling with like he's like throwing sand in your face. And the way it's like a sand in your face, he's gonna mix up a fucking like a smoke bomb and throw it at you. So it's like that desperate like reaching for everything in his fucking utility belt and lobbing it at you.
Because they're kind of thinking of them on the start of it, where they're running away in the river, or sailing away on the river to get away from the machine gun fire. They're like, they're it. teensy bit more advanced than us. It's like they're a lot more advanced than you, because then a fucking plane comes in, and Senku, as Gen points out later, is like, your reaction to the plane was like, oh shit, they got a plane, which I appreciate. Stanley does not have a gun on. He's just leaning out the side and just shooting the fucking machine gun at them from the plane.
It's about the right size for like one of those guns you find in the biplane.
Yeah,
They
but he's
always
carrying
get ripped off and carried out by somebody else. I always remember
he's
the one.
pre-ripped it off beforehand. Yeah.
I remember the one in the Mummy is just like, the dude part about the ancient Guardian is going for, this is badass. I'm putting that sword away for good.
But how Senku's reaction isn't like one of like, oh no, they got a plane. It's like, oh cool, they got a plane. So it's like, we got a plane. They're more excited by the fact that planes now exist again on planet Earth. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Zeno for some reason has dressed himself up like a supervillain.
Again, like just like the villain of the last arc has like the long fucking bugle fingers just on the end. It's like, no, we just want like long things for like, I want to put like extra large hula hoops on these and just like eat them off of. Cheese squares just going. Oh.
And the fun thing about watching this, knowing where the comic goes, is I'd forgotten the line that Gen tells here at the end of the episode. Essentially causes far more conflict than if he just told the truth.
Yes. He's like, I can't tell him that Senku is the scientist who this fucking thing, because if I give that information away, I'm giving away like our boss, basically.
It's gotta be a tough dude who can handle the kind of pressure.
What if it was someone who the back of the manga, like the way it's written, it seems like he'd be the main character, even though I always remember that because it's like Taiju is a guy who does this thing. I was like, fucking Taiju is
very earnest and hardworking.
Yes. Yeah. And we'll quickly write
Dr.
about
Taiju.
Give him a girlfriend. He's happy. He's going to go till
he's
the fields.
sorted. Like, he's grand. When they have to lob the acetylene or whatever the gas is at the plane, they get your one who's very good at throwing stuff with a rope, with a bola kind of thing. Is like, we need a stable platform for her to go off of, and it is Taiju being held by other people in the middle of a river, which is just very funny to me. That's Taiju's purpose, is to be, I guess in this case, like a sacrificial lamb, but like a solid block of a sacrificial lamb. He can take it.
If they went at him, like, he wouldn't fight back, but he could be definitely survive it.
Yeah. He'd be fine.
That's his talent.
Then we've got Trillion Game, episode 17, Haru Unparalleled.
He's still in the story.
He's still in the story, and you get a nice reminder throughout the episode that, well, he may be a bad guy. There's a worse guy in charge of Dragon Bank.
A real stinker.
Yes.
And they don't even have to feed Komodo dragons in this case to show that he's evil. Yeah.
We also opened in present day, though, where there's more indication that Haru has disappeared from this part of the story, because it is Gaku who's having to do the meet and greets with all the people from God Promotion on a boat, and press the flesh and meet the celebrities. You think, wouldn't that normally be Haru's job?
Wouldn't he like to meet the bouncily boobed lady that's the pinup model for God Promotion? It's like, that does seem like a Haru thing. Also, I did like your man's incredibly textured suit. Like, that was.
Oh yes,
heavy
game designer. Yeah.
He's still in it, and he's like, "Wow, I should have taken those stock options back in the day, huh?" And it's like, back in the day, and it's all about stock options, so it is related. Yeah.
Well, like, we're up with God Promotion now, but can't give you 180 million a month. Yeah, it's probably good. We can give you this very, like, good salary and lots of stock options for, and say, okay, sign me up, I'm in.
And then the bulk of the episode is Haru doing social manipulation at a party.
Mm-hmm.
And the other lads being our speedwagonings, who are like, they're just kind of like, what is he doing? Why is he bringing mouthwash? And he's like, oh, this is a very important item. I just need to put it in my suit for a plan I have later.
Hey, waiter, fun. If you want to set me up with that girl, if you want to be doing me a real solid, come on, man, if you can do this for me, fun. Say, I can't do that. She's one of our most important clients for you, fun. Say, okay, just like, go and free fill a wine glass, but just spare a little bit in the sleeve. Come on, man, and make it worth your while. I make it really worth your while.
Hands him a fat.
It comes in, spills wine, and you can just kind of White Knight in. Oh, I just happen to have this mouthwash in my pocket. It helps me the perfect thing to remove a wine stain from your sleeve. Now your night can continue on.
Yes, but unfortunately, this is the guy he wants to impress was also about to come in and White Knight, and so he's impressed with Haru getting there before him and being so prepared. Meanwhile, Rin has to get a loan because Haru has spent all the cash.
Yeah,
we're
at the stage where he spent all our startup cash, so we are literally out of money. So we can't sell. And your man's just like, well, just sell your stocks. And he's like, we can't sell the stocks because we need the 51% stake. Otherwise, he'll get it back.
The stocks are up there as collateral against the loan, and it should be fine as long as the stock price doesn't fall too low. Otherwise, the bank will pull you in and make you go and pay back that loan, and they'll take you for what if you know it. As long as no one does it and weird with the stocks, we should be just fine. Somebody has done something weird with the stocks.
Because dad's gone and asked his daughter, did you let that guy leave our company and go and work for Trillion Game? And she's like, I don't like to see a talented man not put to work. So yeah.
And him explain his evil plan of is just like the guy is like, I'll put a bunch of shitty articles out, a bunch of analysts will say, oh, they're actually shit. And he's like, I didn't fucking tell you to do any of that. He's watching for his horse in the horse race, and it's just like, I'm just talking to myself. Don't fucking worry about me.
Let's just say someone were to tank these stocks,
Yeah.
I just happen to be in charge of an enterprise, might be able to do something about that or with that. But we're just talking hypothetically here in my own mind, out loud, to nobody in particular. Yes.
And the head of Dragon Bank has a sexy young lady there to go like, what's that mean for us, the audience who don't fucking understand this shit? I do appreciate that. That's a necessary thing. But also,
what's that fees? Well, you see, young lady.
Yeah. It's necessary. It's a necessary thing, and I was like, that's a good way to do it. But I do appreciate that it's been done at the horse races. So when his horse comes out and it trips and falls, or I wasn't sure if that was his horse or a horse, he's like, oh, the poor thing, we'll have to put it down. He saes with his monocles, and he's like fucking smash cut to our fucking boys. Essentially, it's just like, okay.
Buy the dip.
You want to turn our heroes into glue. I got you. That's fine. Evil man. I see where it's at.
And so we're left with the sight of the stock dipping and tears in our developers' eyes.
Because he's like, if you guys it's also our poach developer is kind of like, you could just fire me and then you won't have to pay me. And they're like, you're part of the team. You're not getting fired. He's got the tears of like, oh man, I'm part of the team. I got friends, co-workers, I guess, more so because we don't get on socially.
I will have a job tomorrow, but I'll have friends.
Yeah.
You got to convince this the silver fox that you're an impressive individual and worth going to business with.
Because basically, if Haru has control of the media, then there's not much Dragon Band can do to stop him. But it's this guy he needs to impress who has his finger in a lot of different media pies, essentially. Yeah.
We have the four warlords of up emotion. We have and the relationship map. It's like here we gotta take them all down one by one.
It's still very good. It's still very well written. Like subjects that should be boring as fuck. Rin has to go get a bank loan. That should suck. I'm just like, I'm liking that it's a montage and you're just powering through it, and I know enough information to get exactly what's going on despite me not understanding any of this shit for real.
Yeah, and Rin explained she didn't understand it until she looked into it to do this. So
yeah, I'm the president now. I should know how to take out a loan off your. I forget the loan. It's a loan where the stocks are the collateral for the loan. I can't remember the name for it. Yeah.
I didn't retain it because I feel like it's never going to be used to me personally.
I'm never going to have stocks. It's fine.
Something I hear all the time from reading the news and things, because usually a country is doing it, maybe illegally or illegally to just fuck things up. But then, it's flowing on my head as well. Maybe I'm trying my brain to protect me from current events.
Yeah, could be.
From Bureaucrats to Villainess, Dad's been reincarnated. Hold on a minute, Brian. Episode 4. Dad summons a beast. In which this firmly put itself.
The other shoe drops.
So this is Zenshu. Easily the best things.
Oh, this is so. Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of good things this season, but yeah, this is way up there for me. I really enjoyed it.
because the first half is, well, as the title describes, Dad summoning the beast. We find out what those eggs are. You're familiar. You spend a month bubbling mana into them, and then they hatch.
But like as is explained in our opener as well, it's like, oh, what's the deal with what's the beast? I get the beauty part because beautiful boys, but what's the beast part? He's saying to his daughter. His daughter like, well, it's like half like a dating fucking thing and half like Pokemon. And based off the first month of play, that determines what beast you're gonna get, like based off what your highest stats are, that kind of fucking thing. And then that has a different elemental thing. And he's like, okay, I see the appeal of this now.
Yeah. Also, the very opening thing is like, well, okay, Red Ranger in another world. I too am a tokusatsu transforming hero in another world, as we get the dad doing transformation.
He's doing fucking.
Well, it's
and
like
also his wife, of the mother and also his daughter.
And the father make their nerd child. It's just like good stuff, yeah.
Yes, so he summons a beast, and it weirdly is him and Grace as little plushes. And then he hears a voice telling them to put them together, and then two hands appear in the sky out of a 16:9 rectangle, and pushes them together, and he creates an ancient dragon, which is two of the four elements it could be, and they're opposing ones at that. Wow!
Yeah, and I like the way this like this. The elemental thing is the opposing things fire against water, but everything else supports each other. Wind supports fire, and fire supports earth. I think that kind of way. So you can do support magic. There's a interlocking positive system and a negative system of being against each other. But he's one that has two elements. That's not normal, and also opposing elements. So just like everyone's like, what the fuck, except for our main character, who's kind of like, so she's a genius. Okay, got it.
We also get the fun bit of him discussing with her. If you had the chance, would you re-roll your, rehatch the your familiar, because he's thinking back to playing like Final Fantasy, fighting.
Yeah,
fantasy.
she's gotten like a little chibi Pegasus, and he's kind of like, everyone else is like, that's a bit plain. Like, it's wind element because it's Pegasus. It's not that cool. And she's like, no, it's great. I love it. And he's like, right on, you fucking first choice, best choice.
Just like my daughter. But then when he's thinking back of him playing game books
Showa era version
in the 80s, just roll the d6 and you get the number you want to.
Just safe scum it.
It's like, no, don't like that roll. Yeah. Roll a couple of times and keep your favorite result. Yeah.
And then in the second half, we get all the series so far from the point of view of mum and daughter.
Her playing the game, and then it's like getting a call from him. It's like, what? There's been an accident. So they go to the hospital. The doctor's like, it's like he's in a dream. Like there's no real damage done. Everything's cool. And I did like the daughter kind of leaving the thing. It's like, ma'am seems like she might be down because her face. Ma'am's walking ahead of her, and she's like, what if I do my classic Dio impersonation here to show what he'll be like rising from the grave? It's like, Jotaro, and the ma'am's like, oh, yeah.
That's it.
And I was like, yes. A family of fucking nerds, love it. The ma'am is also like, yeah, he's not out. He saved a kid, which is absolutely him because we're nerds and we like that heroic fucking shit. But also that he'll be back. We know it when the daughter goes back home though. The game's still running. That's weird. The TV's not plugged in. Like all this kind of fucking shit.
And
like
the character Grace is like, like brackets Kenzaburo. It's like fucking dead, and it's just
like
what
player
happening
character
here.
name.
And it's just, man, look at this. Like Dad's been fucking. I mean, he's inside the game. It's just like, can you believe this?
You're not going to believe me, man, but I think Dad's been isekai into my game, and your mom's like,
and of course he has been. I've seen Orb E18 done by it. I've read the Chronicles scenario. I know all this shit. Your mother knows and knows an isekai of GC's one. But you kids today and your fucking video games fun. Back in my day, we had proper isekai.
Like her mom going through all the fucking isekai history that is relevant to the situation. Yes. I'm just like, that's so bleeped out isekai, but like clearly you can fucking tell what the fuck it is. Like it's good.
Yeah, this was like the most targeted content towards people my age. The run of things she was going through,
and even like doing the deep dive was like Chronicles of Narnia is an isekai. I mean, like Connecticut Knight and King Arthur's Court is an isekai. It's just like it's an old fucking thing.
It's just it's not like this. It doesn't waste time with like, you know, oh my god, how is this possible? If someone said, oh yeah, we've watched a lot of like anime over the years. We get what's happening here. This fine. Let's just roll with it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
So how's he doing? Oh, he's up to all sorts right now. Just check it out.
Yes. I played all night, and we've got through a month of the story, which is what.
So they can't make choices. They can only press A to continue, like the little plot dialogue boxes. But they can check the pause menu for the
log.
The log so far, like all the. So we read over it. The daughter can play through a month in the night. She's like, "Don't worry, I'm a seasoned gamer, mom. I can do this." So they're caught up to where we're at in the anime now, and then they get that it's like, do you want to help your dad? Like, yes, no fucking option. It's like, yes,
yeah,
because
sure.
help him presumably gets him out of the coma, right? It's like that. We will assume that's what it is, and it is touch the screen to help, and it's like fucking motion controls. It's like, oh Jesus, my hands are going into the screen. Okay, I can do this. Fuses the weird familiars together to make a dragon. Great
it's just like it's just like, you know, you're just like doing that, you're going from oh, this is weird, and then it's just like on the other side you're going, what the fuck is that? Where did that come from? Oh my god, what the doing to my dragon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now they're kind of clued in, so now they can be the kind of peanut gallery to this thing from here on out.
Yes.
This one said, oh, what's that up to now? Oh, it's making goo eyes at the red hair dude, I see.
Well, more so everyone's making goo eyes at him, but yeah.
Yes, because they're bound to realize that before he ever does.
Yeah, no, as objective observers, they're gonna fucking see that. Also, I assume they can check the stats of the love ratings with all the characters in the main menu. So, whereas he's always looking away when they level up, so he can't fucking see it. I did like the NPCs characters discussions of it's like, I hope he gets fucking like wind because that's supporting my fire element. It's like, well, obviously he's gonna get like they're all have opinions as to what his thing is going to be, his elemental compatibility with them, because that's what it's a compatible thing. It's a dating game, you know how it works.
Yeah, it's a thing like going, oh well, you've been reincarnated here, so you get the super good powers, you know, but it seems to be based upon, well, you're two souls in one body, so you get two powers. Okay, I got like, there's like a rationale to this. We can go along with it. It's not just, well, you've never changed yourself or wanted to improve yourself, but you're here now, and you should just get powers just because for doing nothing. But
now that he has two elements as well, he is not only compatible with everyone by having the same element or a complementary element, like just like he's just sorted. He can go out with anyone in the entire game.
Transcend this like elemental class system.
Yeah, what do they call that in dating things? Like player sexual? It's just like whatever the player is, that's what they're into.
And then finally, we've got Dragon Ball Daima, episode 16, Degasu. That wasn't Degasu. It was just another lady. It was
there's so much nobody knows.
It defied expectations again. Like we assumed it was Degasu because Degasu's like, I guess I gotta go do this, and then a random woman shows up that we've never seen before. Turns out she was a random woman who we have never seen before. That
he just gave her £100 to go to rob his idiot.
Steal this guy's belt. I don't fucking care how you get it. Just don't fucking make a big deal about it. It was pure fucking random chance, and we just assumed it was logically him turned into a woman. It's like
it does feel so like low rent for like you're meant to be like the aide de camp to the demon king from there. Just go rob this for you. Just like here's a few quid. Just go do that.
This episode's an absolute assassination of Degasu because we assumed a lot of fucking intelligence. Oh, he's going to be the big bad. It's like, no, he just fucking sucks. Like he
can't even threaten a baby, right? To me, he's just got nothing, does he?
That's great. I love the fact that we assumed he was like, oh, it's clearly going to be him because he'll be like an evil reflection of Shin. And it's like, nope, he's just awful. He's just bad at his job, bad at everything. Can't even kidnap a baby properly. Because he's
gets beaten by Pansy and Piccolo.
Piccolo,
something to
Pansy
do.
goes in there. You know, she's got like her taser. She's going to happen with that. But she goes in with that baseball slide to catch the baby. Don't want to fall out the window. This is also after, like, yes, the elite forces of the gendarmes. That maybe these, after like seeing what like gunfire and tanks can do to the last before, these guys might be able to hold up a little bit. Nah, they just spot them aside. Vegeta just fucks them all up, no problem.
Yeah, you knew they weren't going to last long, but he takes them out one by one, and then they're kind of like, shit. Fair cop, I guess. But then when Goku's kind of like, can I have some of your potatoes, mister? And he's like, yeah, absolutely, kid.
All right.
No fucking.
You won.
They are gracious in their loss. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Goku and the gang show up to get this third Dragon Ball, but the Tamagami explains somebody already beat them to it.
Yeah, it takes Pansy to kind of look at it as like, hey, he's got a hole where a Dragon Ball should be, and he's like, yep, I already gotten. Sorry, not really.
Just like we go like our three heavy hitters go up there, and it's like, well, going, okay, whose turn is it now? Well, Vegeta, you went last time, so me, Goku, I get this one. And Piccolo was just like, do I get to do any of this?
The thing about Piccolo is Piccolo's not fight crazy like the two boys. That's mostly his flaws, why he's kept out of things, because he's just like, I don't need to fight people just to prove my fucking manliness.
It's nice to be asked, though. You know,
it'd be nice to be asked. It would be polite to be asked, but the lads are also not fucking polite. So like, there's that as well. Yeah.
And then Arinsu and the boys show up to gloat, and we get a close up on what's your boy's name? The guy who's working with he's like
a Glorio,
yes.
Yeah.
His face as him like, what do I do now?
Because technically it's like she's like, I've shown up and I got one, and they're like, well, we have two, and it's like she has two. That's the fucking thing about it, because Glorio has one of those in the bag. That's two on her side basically.
And then meanwhile, our boy has got the eye.
Big keg out his damn belt buckle.
Yes.
Like him going like, just go into like to the random woman who's shown up. I know she has a name, but I love the fact that she's someone with her own shit going on, because the hat was like a gift from her ex, and it was kind of like, it had a little significance, but like, he's my ex, so I don't really fucking have my, like, she's
just go to the treasure room, get whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. Just go.
Steal whatever the fuck you want to the next room. She's like, cool. So when he's like, the fact that we see him trying to get it out with the eyeball with a spoon, I think, or something. Yes. Like, he's went through all the regular tools.
He bent the screwdriver, like, gotta get it out. So
yeah, the amount of time spent on him trying to get this out of this belt is superb.
Like, did you think that, like, I'm just gonna go take a shit real quick? Do you think that when he came back that she had put it on, or something had happened to it? That, of course, one time you go to the toilet and you come back and it's this Agent Arcane artifact.
I didn't think he was going to get the eye, yeah, because he seems to be like the least likely guy to get the eye. And even when she comes back with a bag full of treasure, because she's stolen everything presumably in the next fucking room, he's like, hey, I finally got it out. Jab this in my forehead. And he's like, oh my god, I don't fucking want to touch that. I was like, I'll give you fucking gold, just fucking do it. She's like, make it this much. And so I appreciate the hustle. Pushes the eyeball into his forehead, gross. But now he's hulking out. I mean, like, I assume he's exactly the same shape, but just bigger and more muscly.
As long as he kept and he did his stupid face.
Yes. Yeah.
I am wondering whether how much of this transformation is going to be him and how much of it's going to be the eye. Whether the eye is actually
like the eye's in charge. Yeah. It would make sense as well, because obviously I forgot that, maybe I did mention it, but I do like the fact that the first Demon World, the Gendarme fucking logo and everything is that fucking eyeball. Like, it's been there
everywhere.
A couple fucking times. Like, yeah. So like, that would make sense for it to be the main villain. It's already like got its logo everywhere. Yeah.
But we will see.
Evil eye.
Still a superbly produced cartoon.
Yeah.
It's maybe like on the quieter side. Just like, we didn't have much of a big action set piece as usual, but I guess now things are rubber's really hitting the road here now with all these like plots coming home to roost. So
yeah, it's
going to be going in full fucking gear now from now to the finish.
Yeah, and we got a lot of fucking jokes this episode, so I don't feel for the lack of action sequences and stuff. And we got Degasu just getting punked out like fucking nobody's business.
He just really sucks. He's just so shit.
He wasn't left behind so he could evilly plot for thousands of fucking years. He was left behind because fucking Shin is cool and he sucks. That's the reason.
It's just like, out of like this, like the out of the sibling series. It's like fun. Aaron's who. Well, of course, she would actually have something on the go. She actually decided to be something and do this. She decided to be a sexy
Of her
lady.
own
She
accord,
decided to be an evil scientist. No, he's just like going with the flow of it and saying, "Oh, this is gonna be, kind
Guess
of
I'll work for who's in charge.
vaguely
Okay.
nefarious, but I'm just gonna be the manager of this thing. I have no real dog in this fight. I'm just gonna go along with the system, maintain it." So Wonder Review sucks.
And that's your lot. I didn't watch the Red Ranger thing.
I saw the colors within the new Naoko Yamada film at the cinema. It's like, hey, it's on down the road. Why not? It's kind of heartwarming to it. It's probably better than the last film I saw of her as a silent voice, which is trying to do a lot of manga into one film, which it felt a bit uneven when I saw it. Which seems to be the general general opinion of it. It's like its own story, its own thing. It's a bit more smaller in scale, so it's able to handle it a bit better. It's like there's a girl. She's a bit, and it's all set in a kind of like a convent, like Catholic school for girls, and she can see like the hidden color beauty of people. So she's like, oh, this girl who's like a bit cool and aloof. She's got this wonderful blue color, and then like this lad who's on the school in this island over, he's got this lovely like relaxing green color. And she's they'd be like great friends to, I don't know, form a band, which he kind of just falls into this idea, this arse backwards. So it's about guy making a band together with friends. It's like a nice little thing. It's going to be about music and music. I thought, it'd be kind of very easy, kind of metal, like probably folky kind of stuff. It's just like kids in school. It has this like kind of religious thing to it. Music was actually a lot cooler than I expected it would be. The actual like music they start playing in the big like gig at the festival at the end is very new wave. It's kind of funky.
Okay.
And it's just like bit in the middle where like the two girls are just like hanging out. Oh, we're going to sneak you into my room in the convent, and we're going to like hang out. We're going to like have a wild night in, eating potatoes and reading manga and doing each other's nails. And it's set to like Born Slippy by Underworld, or like a cover thereof. So it's like, all right, yeah, cool.
Okay.
It was just not expecting like that to get dropped in the middle of the film. It's like, yeah, all right, okay, cool. But a wild night in, like, mad for it, doing each other's nails, talking about boys. Okay, it's like it's not a bad little thing. Again, a bit more coherent of a thing. It's definitely the kind of thing she's good at, and it's like a more kind of like fully formed idea than trying to ram like a lot of like a well-regarded manga into a single film. Catch it now.
Okay. Yep, that's it. We'll be back next week with more of the same.
More of the same. Yeah.
Bye.